Better. All right. Welcome, everybody. ReJect Rundown. Let's live tonight, everybody. Appreciate you guys for stopping on by, as always. So, got a lot of stuff to go over, man. A lot of news, a lot of stuff that happened this past week, and the rest of the regions will be popping on in, chiming in if they can. Let me know how this is rolling out. It's a new little, streaming platform we're trying out today and see how this works out. Then got referred by a fellow reject virus. So let's see how this runs. But on to the rundown news, man, because it's been a crazy, crazy week. So let's try this out, everybody. Here it is, man. Return of the Mac. I don't know if you guys have actually paid attention to UFC, but it looks like Dana White is confirming Mr. Conor McGregor is returning this summer for an actual fight. Now, I don't know how much weight this is gonna carry because guess what, guys? I think we've heard this story before. We've heard this song many, many times. He's coming here, he's coming there, he's in the weight room, he's in the friggin' gym, he's doing this, he's doing that. We've heard it all before. All right. We've heard it before. It's just annoying to say the least because it's like we get our hopes up and then all of a sudden it gets shut down. So hence why he was not on the White House card, everybody. This is why he wasn't on the White House card because it's not necessarily like an actual for sure. This dude does not really confirm he's gonna do it or not. And let's be honest, this dude makes millions and millions already on the side besides doing this freaking UFC platform. And do you really think he wants to get beat up for chump change, if anything? Doubtful. It doesn't make any sense. But if he wants to return to the UFC, have a fight, oh well. Props to him. I think he still has to have a fight under the contract, but it's just, he could definitely back out, postpone, whatever the case to be. So I'll see it when I see it. The timetable is this summer. That's what Dana White is saying. But who knows? Also, he is dubbed to be paired up with Max Holloway to have a fight. Seems like Max Holloway wants to fight. I think that would be a good fight, actually. Both will like to stand up. Probably wouldn't say any takedowns, which at this point, that's fine. That's type of his Max Holloway's fights. He prefers to stand up, same as Connor. So if this goes to show that these two will be paired up in July, the way they're kind of eyeballing it, then I'm fine with it. I want to see the actual match this comes out to be. So we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, I'll see it when I see it. Other thing was that happened this past weekend, actually, over the weekend, we didn't get a chance to talk about during the week, was more releases from WWE, which I'm expecting to be more coming up soon. It seems like things are oddly weird over there at WWE. TKO is not handling these contracts the way they should. Seems like they are really trying to ask a lot of pay cuts for all these superstars. And then for one, they're not trying to pay, some of put their expenses in when these superstars go and get their hotels or whatever case be. There's a lot of he said, she said behind the scenes, and it's not yet for sure. The other thing that kind of scares people is that we could be losing a lot of our, favorite superstars in that matter. And right now, currently at this point, when it comes to who was recently released between Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, the New Day, that was a big hit. I think fans were really scared and really like a big shock that occurred. And I'm definitely one of those people because for that tag team to be one of the best that WWE has had for almost last 5-10 years, I think they've been together. It's been, it's been weird. Why would they want to lose that talent? But they've had their ups, they have their downs. They've redone their characters quite a bit. They've been good, they've been bad guys. It is what it is. So it's good that they'll get a different, story somewhere else. I'm expecting them to do better things, especially with Kofi. Possibly still, I think he still got it, man. He still can wrestle. He can still do some things. So I'd like to see what type of matches he'll have outside of this. When it comes to Xavier, I mean, this dude does a lot of his streaming platforms, so it's fine. I think he'll probably be the next streamer that makes some big bucks over there in the world. So I'm not too, shy that he's not going to be successful somewhere else besides WWE. I think he'll make it. He did a great thing by having his little gaming thing with the rest of the superstars, which I still think he'll still do. a lot of friendships, a lot of connections, and all that. So I think we'll see him very soon. We'll see him very soon. Now, what I'm very shocked at was the JC Mateo and Tongaloa release. That was kind of surprising. Now, was it, I would say, is it totally a loss? No, because both these guys weren't really doing anything. JC was not utilized properly, which, I'm glad that he left because the storyline they add him in there with the bloodline did not make any sense. This dude is not related to any of those bloodline characters at all whatsoever outside of there. And it did not make any sense why he was attached to them right off the bat when he debuted. He should have been somewhere else. He should have done his own thing. He could have been another tag team with someone else. But for him to be paired up with the bloodline was very like why type of moment. It really was. But Tonga, I'm glad because he was literally the worst character in the bloodline. The worst. He had a lot of mess-ups. He didn't really wrestle very well. He just wasn't the guy. Like, I know the bloodline was, especially that storyline was so much, and WWE was trying to milk the cow, and they figured, another family member, let's add him in there, whatever. He's probably had his better days over there outside of WWE. So I think he's probably better off over there across the seas. Let him go there, let him stay there. But it is what it is. So let's keep an eye on more of these releases and see what pops off. But it is what it is. Good luck to these guys, and hopefully they bounce back and do something better, right? Now, what's shocking, to say the least, everybody, is that Roman could be leaving the WWE. All right, there's a lot of chatter in the background, man. There's a lot of chatter that Roman Reigns is pissed off with TKO because they are messing up these contract negotiations here. Looks like TKO wants Roman to take a big pay cut because he's a part-timer. Now, all of us who's actually tuned in and watch wrestling know that part-timers do aggravate us quite a bit because when they do part-time wrestlers, involve them in these storylines, the investment isn't necessarily what we like, right? I think we have a lot of criticism when the WWE wants to attach these part-timers in these title match contentions and these title match storylines, when a lot of times, yes, it could be entertaining for the most part, but the storyline just doesn't have any depth most of the time, and when we have a lot of our critiques. So with Roman possibly, thinking that it may be best for him to leave, especially with these, negotiation and pay cuts type of deal, then all the power to him. He already has his foot in the door with the entertainment world and making movies and stuff. We'll see what happens in Street Fighter. I mean, he seems to be one of the fan favorites at this point that we want to see on the big screen. And he may have some other lineup, jobs on the way. He could be doing some other things that we don't know of, or at least talking about. But right now, currently, it just goes to show that TKO doesn't matter who you are on the totem pole, whoever you are, they're willing to make these type of cuts in business. So TKO, y'all just need to, handle your conversations with your superstars better, because if you lose a talent like Roman, you are gonna seriously be in trouble. Totally. You're definitely gonna be in trouble. I think a lot of us, who tune in and watch wrestling and are wrestling fans are, looking at this, and we're sitting there saying, like, look, probably best that none of our favorite superstars go over there anymore. We may be shouting out on the freaking social media page and saying, hey, don't go there, go to AEW. Instead of going over there and dealing with those jackasses, go across the hallway and go to Florida and go hang out with those guys in Florida. So that may be it. But stay tuned. We'll see what happens after Backlash, which is basically going to be tomorrow. And if something happens in the storyline where he has to be exited off and loses the championship, and from there not, get beat up supposedly bad type of deal, then I think some of these storylines are true. So let's stay tuned and watch all that happen after Backlash. Now, what us rejects love to watch is Dark Side of the Ring. And if you guys don't know what this show is, please look it up and watch it if you can. If you're available to watch it, watch it. If you are wrestling fans, or even at that too, are a fan of watching TV shows that deal with real life stories, documentary series, that type of deal, this right here is one of the baddest, coolest shows that was ever made. And to listen to all these, you know, stories that we just heard rumors of, and to be told in the manner that being told, phenomenal, phenomenal show it is. And it's always been a great show. Great. Right now they're on their 7th season, which is crazy. And what they just recently announced for their 7th season is a 3-part premiere. They did a 2-part premiere, I think, a whiles back when they were discussing the Chris Benoit and the Eddie Guerrero storyline. So now that they're going to be evolving this new 3-part premiere with Jeff Jarrett and the TNA, and basically how everything came to be, that right there is going to be a show stealer right there for sure. It's going to be all over social media. People are going to tune in and have a conversation about it, because I truly want to know. I was a big fan of Jeff Jarrett when he was with WCW and WWE prior to TNA, and he was literally TNA's bad guy. When TNA was at its infancy and on the rise when he was dealing with AJ. So right there, I would like to know, what was the story? How did he create it? I'm pretty sure we've heard of doing this interviews and stuff, but them to do an in-depth show like this and to kind of tell the other stories that we haven't heard of, perfectly fine, man. Let's get to it. Definitely ready for it. I definitely want to see it. So tune in July 7th. It looks like will be the premiere date. So we'll see from there. We'll probably do a watch party. Who knows? We'll see. I'm intrigued. In other news, Matt Lillard, man, joining DCU with an undisclosed part. We don't know specifically what role he's going to be taking over, but he'll be joining there. He was just over there with Marvel. He had his first job at Marvel doing, Daredevil Born Again. And right now he did a phenomenal job in that. So for him to cross over and go to DCU and do some work there, this dude's getting paid, man. This dude's getting some jobs, man. He's getting some real good jobs. So I would like to see what happens in Superman Man of Tomorrow, see what his role is going to be like. But it's gonna be intriguing, good for him. Always been a fan of him, especially when he was portraying Shaggy back in the day, and then for him doing Scream. So I would like to see what James Gunn has in store for him for sure. So good job. Thank you for coming on over to the DCU side, to the better side. All right. On to the next. Now, I don't normally get into this, but it's so weird that this is happening. Okay. And the reason why I bring this up is because as a kid, we used to watch these young ladies over here on big screen, right? And they went away for a while. Okay. They went away. They were our crushes as we were young boys and stuff like that. And it seems like they want to turn back the clock and get start fresh, start something new. According to Jamie B, have creative evolution at this point. No, but it's weird. It's totally weird. But I guess there was just a big announcement of Jamie Presley here, who's on the left, if you guys don't know, joining OnlyFans. Looks like she's another one of the 90s heartthrobs, or what's it called, hot as actresses or whatever in that time frame, joining OnlyFans now. And it looks like they are working a deal to have some collaborations with Shannon Elizabeth, of course, and Denise Richards. So when I heard of this, I was like, why? This is literally, it seems like OnlyFans became the nowadays Playboy, right? Back then, Playboy was the big thing. Any, female actress or singer, whatever the case to be, who ended up wanting to do that and was on the front cover, had clout, at this point, right? Was what everyone new kids now would say. Had a lot of that. So now all of a sudden, it's not no more relevant. Now all of a sudden, OnlyFans is relevant. Now it's just basically instead of a news magazine, it's streaming platforms. Okay. So what this is happening right now, I don't know. In my mind, it's like who can they now talk to from back in the 90s, who was, a big thing back then, to convince them to come on board. And the only person I can think of right now is Miss Jennifer Coolidge. Would be a weird announcement now for her to be like, bring on Jennifer. And if you guys don't know who that is, Stifler's mom. If you guys ever watched freaking American Pie, that's who she played. All right. So if they all of a sudden announce to say, hey, she's joining it and they're gonna do a collaboration, it's literally just gonna be like, what we used to be and what we're trying to be now. That's what it seems like to me. So, but listen, this is the way they want to get their money. This is the way they want to, enjoy themselves nowadays and have creative control in their content. All power to them at this point right now. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure a lot of these old nasty heads, 50-year-old guys are going to be wanting to tune in and pay the big bucks to get the good content, right? So we'll see what happens with that. Now, if you guys didn't know, it was officially announced for sure that Hocus Pocus 3 is happening. It is in the works. They are working on it currently, getting the story set up, and we'll be filming shortly. All right, which is pretty interesting. I guess number 2 was a big hit. I didn't see it. Ain't gonna want to watch it, but it seems like it did well enough, and Disney's is agreeing with going with a number 3. So we'll see what happens soon and see who other cool characters may be joining in, other actresses be popping off in there. The other thing that occurred in the movie world is that we are getting a new Planet of the Apes movie. All right. Kind of weird because according to the new director, when he was stating that he's making a new Planet of the Apes movie, it's not going to be a continuation to what we saw in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. It's going to be a new original story. So it's like the rest of these here. It's not a prequel. It's not a sequel. It's just its own story, plot, timeline, multiverse deal, or whatever case it be. And it's going to be a 5th installment in a sense. We've gotten, as you see here, 4 already. This is going to be 5 now, 5 original different stories. Even though, yes, we can say, excuse me, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is basically a sequel to Planet of the Apes from back in 2004, something like that when it first came out. But it's still, again, its own story, its own setup. So for the director to say we're getting a new original story kind of confuses me a bit because it's like it's working. Whatever we have that's showing off with these storylines, it's working. Why do you want to come up with something different? I don't need a crossover with another platform. I don't need some other story to be interjected here or a return of Mark Wahlberg to the Planet of the Apes storyline. We don't need that right now. They've done well enough with these past, 4 or 5 movies that we've seen. And at this point right now, just let it be. Let it just continue with that, please. Because you doing something different, you in your mind think it's something fresh, something cool. What more can you do with Planet of the Apes? The apes were the apes. They got a special, testing done, and they became smart and intelligent, took over the world. There's no other plot from that. There's really nothing else you can do with that. Just leave it from there. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with the storyline and see who they decide to add to the movie, which I'm pretty sure they'll let us know soon. Our time for reject of the week, everybody. And as you see here, you see Mr. Kodak Black. Yes, he is getting the reject of the week this week because I don't know if he do or not, but you can't be traveling with some drugs, man. You can't be traveling around the world with things in your pocket and acting like as if it ain't yours. That's ridiculous. And if you are traveling the world with multiple different people and this is your business, this is your money that to be lost and earned, you would think you would want to be on everybody's ass, all right, and making sure everyone is up to good, all right, not no good, is up to some good stuff, better things to be getting you your money instead of things that'll make you lose your money. So Mr. Kodak Black, Mr. Dum Dum here, decided to get arrested in Florida for allegedly trafficking some drugs. All right, it's allegedly. It's all being, talked about right now. He did appear for the judge. He ended up paying the $75,000 bail bond to get him out of there. So he's out of jail for sure, but he did get himself arrested, and now he still has to abide by some restrictions according to the judge. So we shall see what it's going to be like for him in the next few months, because he is supposed to be away from any type of drugs or influences in that manner and stay clean. I don't know how long he'll last, because by the look at his face, that boy looks like he needs some Benadryl right now. Don't look right. He just don't look good. Never been a big fan of Kodak. Never at all. Always one of the most annoying rappers that came about in the last decade. So just doesn't make any sense to me. But it's just weird. It's just please. What I gotta say to the kids right now is that you want to be a rapper, fine. You want to be an entertainer, that's fine. You want to show out and have some creativity, that's fine. But you don't need to be doing all that extra stuff that gets your ass into jail. It doesn't make any sense for you to do. Yes, you want to have fun. Okay, fine. You want to dibble dabble in this and that. Okay, but get your ass to a safe location and do it responsibly. Don't sit here and do it the way they're doing it all over the world and acting like no one's going to touch them, no one's going to arrest them, no one's going to notice, no one's going to see. People are going to see. And with light and with phones and cameras everywhere, you're not going to be doing it privately unless it's in your own home. All right. So just know that, people, please don't look at him and say, oh, he's a role model. Sorry. He's a role model. I want to be just like him when I grow up. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't want to look that dumb and act like you could do this. You may have some money right now, but that don't make no sense to me. Don't make no sense. Now, on to the last thing on the board, everybody, of what's been allegedly been said out there in the world when it comes to entertainment stuff. It's allegedly been said that they are going to be making or continuing on with Alien Awakening. If you guys didn't know, we had Prometheus, then we had Alien Covenant on board, which is the sequel. They were supposed to get a threequel to that, all right, which was going to be Alien Awakening. It was going to continue with that storyline, and we were set to get that off in the run before we got Alien Romulus. If I'm not mistaken, that's what came out before that. So that was pushed to the back burner. We didn't get it, obviously, but it seems like it is back on the table, and Mr. Fassbender is going to be probably returning to the role. So at this point, that could be a storyline that's going to be told, and we may finally get the film. Will it go to theaters? I'm assuming so, because Fassbender is not one of those guys you want to just go straight to stream. All right, but if it does, oh well. I'm not saying I was a big fan of the franchise. I was very confused of how things were told, but people did like it, and I guess people were explaining that it was part of the comics that was told way back when, which I never read. So fine, if that was part of it, cool with it, as long as the story made sense. And regardless, the movies weren't necessarily good, but they were entertaining, to say the least. So it is what it is, but we'll see what happens, and we'll see what they actually make it official. Now, the other thing that's been allegedly been said, it's not yet confirmed, but I think it is going to be happening, man, because Super Mario Galaxy has been making buku bunny. All right, it's probably one of the biggest and most earniest movies of 2026 thus far, which I kind of figured was going to happen because it's a kid movie. parents could take their kids to watch it basically 3 to 4 times, so far that we've had a chance to in the theaters. And we've gotten to see Star Fox. This was his first, feature film debut, but he was pretty cool in the cartoon. All right. I just saw the movie this past Tuesday, was a fan of it. And, seeing Star Fox on there was like, finally, I used to play the game back in the day when it was Nintendo 64. And, excuse me. And I've always been like, all right, cool, man, especially for them being Super Smash Brothers. Let's go. Let's give him some, some actual run and give us some excitement for to see this character on the board. And right now, he's done really well. So I'm cool with the idea if Illumination is going to be making a movie of Star Fox and probably doing a continuation in generally after the fact that he, gone off and went his bout to kind of get back to his crew. So if that's what they're going to do it, then that's fine. It's going to be entertaining. I think it's going to be fun. I think the characters on board is going to be there. You got the rabbit, the toad, freaking Falcon. And who's the other guy? There's someone else too. Or maybe that's all. No, there's someone else. I just can't remember. But that's going to be a cool crew to watch on the big screen. So hopefully this actually is a for sure, which I think it is. I think it is. The other thing that's allegedly been said, which I don't know. I don't know if I like this idea. I don't know if this makes any sense. Besides the fact that they're cool, they're nostalgic characters. Okay, Toy Story 5 has yet to even hit the big screen. All right, but somehow, some way, we already have a 6 and 7 plot storyline script already written. All right, it seems like that is already made, and according to the director, they have it ready, and they could be actually doing the the 6 or 7 movie. I think they're waiting to see what happens with number 5, which I thought we were supposed to be done with this movie when number 4 came out. I thought number 4 ended everything with Woody going his own way and doing his own thing with Bo Peep, and then the other guys going with the old girl and doing their thing and stuff. It's like we had an emotional moment in number 4, and especially for the sign off goodbye Woody type of deal. Now all of a sudden we're getting a number 5, and now he's returning and going bald, of course. And it's like, what more can we be told right now? I guess there's more. I don't know why, but I guess there is. And if they already written number 6 and 7, then power to them. But why can't make something new, make something different? It's like this the Fast and the Furious effect. When one was cool, then we get the the 2 and the 3 and the 4, the return of all these other characters, blah blah blah. This is what's falling down the rabbit hole here. At this point, it's just make a cartoon series. Just make a cartoon series, man. Make a seasonal cartoon series and just get it over with. Why can't we just do that, please? Because making these feature movies like this and all the way to 7 now, that's what they have it planned out, which I'm pretty sure all of a sudden someone's going to say, well, let's make an 8. No, bro, stop. But if Disney wants to do it, obviously it's one of their most lucrative, Pixar plots and storylines. I guess you can't be mad at it. I guess you can't, but we'll see. We'll see. It's in the works. It's allegedly already made. I mean, it's yes for sure the written script is there, but we don't know if it's going to get the green light for the actual movie, because at this point they're waiting to see what Toy Story 5, how well they do there, and if they do well there, then yeah, it looks like we'll end up getting a 6 and a 7. Looks like that'll be a green light, but we'll see. We shall see, everybody. But that's all I got for you guys today. We are going to be probably returning tomorrow for sure when it comes to watching Backlash, doing a watch party. We have Backlash tomorrow, WWE. We also have UFC 328. I think it is 328. Hamzat is going to be fighting against Strickland. So that's going to be a great fight. That's going to be for the title belt right there for sure. And at this point, we'll see what happens there. They've already been hitting the freaking streamline when it comes to how they fight and stuff like that, and how they're doing the face off and causing trouble on stage. But it's going to be an intriguing fight for sure. So we'll be, tuning in there. And then, Mother's Day is on Sunday. I just got reminded. So if you guys are going to be celebrating, have some fun, go enjoy yourselves. Make sure you guys, do something nice. If you can't afford it, get something nice. It's a thought that counts, and it's this day of appreciation. That's mainly what you need to do. You need to appreciate what you have. Your mama, just go appreciate them. You have your wife, who's a mom of your children, appreciate. All right, it's appreciation day for that day. Basically, I know every day we should appreciate them and all the work they do, and all the effort and their mental health that drives into all that, and everything that implies when it comes to all the hard work that they do on an everyday basis. It is what it is. So if you guys are having a good Mother's Day, or having some type of plans for Mother's Day on Sunday, have some fun, enjoy yourselves. Hope you guys have a safe trip if you guys are traveling. But we'll be back for sure coming on tomorrow afternoon. I think this when UFC starts around 7 or 9 or so, give or take. And then also WWE Backlash. So I think we'll probably be we're definitely doing a watch party, but it's more so we're going to be flipping screens here. Or maybe I'll even have both of them on both screens. I'll probably have Paramount on this one, and I'll have freaking WWE on this one. Because, having both of these on happening at the same time, probably what's going on right now. It's going to be a crazy TKO weekend tomorrow for sure. So we shall see. But those guys are tuned in. Thank y'all for tuning in. And we'll see you next time for sure. And hopefully get some cool stuff happening, all right?